Welcome back to Inside My Library. My name is Joe Bradford, and today's book is a modern take on a classic text that is studied in the Hanbali school, and it is Zad al-Mustaqni' and the Marginalia or Gloss of Mansur al-Bahuti, who died in the year 1643 of the Christian era and then 1051 of the Hijra era. Now, the original to this book is known as Al-Muqni', and it was written by Ibn Qudama as the second in a series of books that he wrote about the Hanbali school. And he originally wrote this book to follow and present two of the narrations on any given issue from Imam Ahmed. So let's talk a little bit more about Ibn Qudama, the books that he wrote. The first book was known as Al-Umdah, Umdat al-Fiqh, and is a basic manual of fiqh for beginners. It covers the basic rulings that everyone would need according to the predominant position in each issue. My teacher, Sheikh Muhammad Mukhtar al-Shanqiti, used to say that if a person properly studied Umdat al-Fiqh, they'd be able to answer most fiqh issues that arise in his or her life easily and answer other people's questions as well. The second book, Al-Muqni', which this is based on, presents the two most predominant opinions in the school. And then the third book is known as Al-Kafi, which introduced evidences for the positions in the madhab. The final book is known as Al-Mughni, and it is a explanation of the text known as Mukhtasar al-Khiraqi, and it builds upon the previous works in adding opinions from the other madhahib, companions, early imams, whether those opinions are still followed or they're extinct, and it concentrates on where Imam Ahmed falls within all of those different various positions, and it mentions all the evidences for them. Now, it's important to note when we talk about that book in some detail that that book, Al-Mughni, is actually based on some other earlier works by other scholars that those evidences come from. The second book, Al-Muqni', was summarized into this form by Ali al-Hajjawi, who died in the year 968 or 1560, and he was a Hanbali scholar from Damascus. He was Sheikh al-Islam there in Damascus, and he was the Mufti of the Hanabila. He took Al-Muqni', he summarized it, and in general, when you look at summarizations like this, they're done for one of two reasons. Either it's because the book is unnecessarily wrong and the summary makes it more accessible, and the other is that it was summarized so that it can be easier to memorize and it removes some of the superfluous, unnecessary details from those books. With this book, it's the latter. And so the two opinions are boiled down to one, and a lot of the extra information is taken out. Now, one of the negative effects of that form of summarization is that many times it makes it difficult to understand what exactly the author is trying to get at. You have to unpack the summary, follow the pronouns, and really concentrate on what he's saying. And that's what Mansur al-Bahuti did in his Ar-Rawd al-Murbi' ala Zad al-Mustaqni'. What's the importance of this book? Well, our scholars in the Hanbali school have said Matnu Zadin wa Bulugh kafiyani fi an-nubugh or lin-nubugh. The text of the Zad al-Mustaqni' and Bulugh al-Maram are sufficient for a person to develop fully as a jurist. So because Mansur al-Bahuti wrote Ar-Rawd al-Murbi', because the pronouns and the references to itself found in the original were somewhat difficult, and he wanted to solve that problem for people. And one of the benefits that he did is he mentioned a lot of the ta'lilat, or the rationale behind the issues that were mentioned. So what this book does is not Ar-Rawd al-Murbi', but it is written by a guy named Musa'ad al-Salman. And it has introductions by my teacher and Sheikh Abdullah ibn Aqil, rahimahullah, as well as Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, who is currently alive and lives in Riyadh. So what this book does is it takes the evidences and the rationale that were mentioned by al-Bahuti, and it simply turns them into footnotes without the interjecting text that al-Bahuti originally wrote over the summary. So if you wanted to look up a particular issue, you could go to a chapter, like say the chapter of guarantee, Kitab al-Daman or Bab al-Daman, and you read the first line that says, وَلَا يَصِحُ إِلَّا مِنْ جَائِزِ التَّصَرُّفِ. It is not valid except from a person who is legally capable. And then you'd see footnote number 3, and that footnote number 3 says, لِأَنَّهُ إِيجَابُ مَالٍ. This is because it is a financial obligation. So that's the rationale that al-Bahuti mentions. So the student of Islamic law would immediately understand that all financial obligations are only valid when they are initiated by someone with proper legal capacity, and that only people with proper legal capacity may initiate financial transactions or obligations. So the use of, adilla or evidence in this book is not necessarily in the form that many students of Islamic disciplines these days think of. Evidence in Islamic law is much more broad. It's not simply quoting the Quran and the Hadith. Evidence is much broader, and it includes rational proofs and things which are derivative or derived and rely upon those sacred texts or rely upon the inductive understanding of those texts. All in all, if you are a student of the Hanbali school or you want a quick reference for the school, then this will enable you to go back and understand an issue, understand why an issue is the way it is under Islamic law, and quite frankly, it's the perfect reference for doing just that. And for me, it's one of my first go-to books. Whenever I need to look up an issue, I will go here first, look at the issue, look at the rationale and what is referenced as far as the rational evidence or the textual evidence, and then that acts as a key for me to go back to the larger works that we talked about earlier, such as Al-Muqni' or the explanations on it. And hopefully we'll go into more detail about the books of this madhab that I have studied and that I'm sure may be of interest to many of you. So let me know what you think about this book and about any other books that are like it, if you've read any of these books or if you have this and you liked it. And hope to hear from you in the comments, and I'll see you next time on Inside My Library.